that I'm real. And niggas ain't seeing me. I've been said I'm hot, and you just now believe in me.
Alright, you already know what time it is. It's the 2014 end of the year wrap up boxing rant. You know, I'ma just talk about the sport and all the fights and shit that happened, everything that transpired. We just gonna take a reflective look, you know, during this opportunity. So first of all, my bad with the updates. I've been busy. I think the last fight I had even talked about was Pacquiao Algieri, and you know, we had a bunch of good fights in December, you know, that popped off. I ain't really get to talk about those that much, so we'll talk about that. But you know, I just want to go through shit real quick. As far as looking back at the sport, sorry about that. If I was to say the fighter of the year, first off, talk about that. I believe it's Terrence Crawford. You didn't really have too many candidates as far as guys defeating top opposition this year, so I would basically say Crawford. You know, he beat Ricky Burns for the title, he fought Gamboa, good fight, and he got Beltran, and I respect all three of those opponents. You know, he pretty much really showed that he was the winner in those bouts. And he made them exciting. You know, the Burns fight was alright, but you know, for the most part, I think Crawford deserves that distinction for the year. If I had to say a runner-up, it'd be Pacquiao, because Bradley's a top pound-for-pound guy, and Pacquiao, you know, had his way with him. And Algieri, he was the third best junior welterweight this year, and we already know what Pacquiao did to that boy, so that's that. Biggest comeback, it have to go out to Jermaine Taylor. Hold your head, because I know he in some legal shit now. That boy seemed like he might do some time, but the fight he had with Solomon, and he regained part of the middleweight championship. You know, they're both past it. Both fighters were past their prime. They weren't at the best, but we know Taylor really been through some shit. You know, he was getting dropped by bums, you know, fighting some tomato cans. You know, he shouldn't have got the title shot. We didn't want nothing to happen to him, but I'm glad he was able to win and gain some type of redemption. And I didn't think he looked too bad. He still does that bow and arrow wind up right hand, but he was landing that shit, the jab, the boxing. He was looking good, you know. You know, he didn't look too bad. I know Solomon got injured, whatever, but it is what it is. But Jermaine Taylor gets my biggest comeback distinction for the year. And I would put Amir Khan as honorable mention right there behind them, because you know, I ain't really like how Khan looked in the Collazo fight. Although he won and he dominated, I thought Collazo would actually try better, but you know, Khan beat that boy. But against Devin Alexander, man, Khan looked good, and no lie, that's the best I've ever seen Amir Khan look. He had a little bit of flaws, you know, nothing serious, but I like how he just stayed patient. You know, he threw enough combos, kept Alexander backing up. He took his time, threw combos, picked them apart, jab. He didn't rush in there flailing his arms like he used to do. And he never really tried to hurt Alexander, because this is the thing, when you hurt Alexander, it's like you wake him up and he wants to brawl with you. Like, you've seen it in the Porter fight, and you've seen it against the Lucas Matisse fight. And Devin Alexander, he could be a little handful because he got a heart, but you have to hurt him in order to, you know, really bring that out of him. And Conor was smart to not really trying to hurt him, to, you know, to make Alexander press him more. So, you know, I like that. That was some good shit. The biggest KO of the year, wow. This year really didn't have a lot of good fights, man, but we had some great fucking KOs. My personal favorite would have to be I don't know. Most of them is the fucking money team getting their ass whooped, man. Really, they had some like nasty KOs this year. My goodness. The one where Jay Leon Love gets knocked out and he's like look like he twerking on the canvas, like like his legs shaking or some shit. Like that was sick. I don't know. That's probably number one. That Edwards and Badu Jack. That was a sick one too, cause that boy legs just went to jelly, man. So that's up there. Frotch and Groves, the rematch. Yeah, Frotch laid dude out. I'm not a fan of Frotch, but man, you gotta give it to dude. You know, he tough and that right hand is serious. That was a great knockout. Another one I liked, the Alexander Povetkin. I'm trying to remember who he was fighting. It was early this year. It wasn't the Tarkin. Wasn't that bout? It was early in this year. He landed a nasty combination. Damn near put the guy out the ring. I can't remember his name for shit. Is it Watch? It's one of them names. It was in Russia, but that was sick. It was, like I said, it was a lot of good knockouts this year, man. Let me see what else we gonna talk about. Fight of the year. My personal pick has to be Crawford and Gamble. Only really because you had like two undefeated guys, the high skill level. They were both boxer punchers and they really win at it. You hardly ever see fights where you have so much skill in the ring and it ends up being mad entertaining. It had everything you want, back and forth, knockdowns, dudes getting stunned, the drop, boxing skills, you had jab, switching southpaw. It had everything, and it was at a high level. And he pretty much brought boxing back to the mainstream. And damn, what's that place he from? Nebraska, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but they had the arena filled up like 10,000 people, so that was a good look for the sport. I think that was the fight of the year, in my opinion. I know there's some others I'm missing, but that one really stood out to me. Matisse, Molina, I know people gonna talk about that, but it just, other than the part where Matisse gets dropped, Molina really wasn't too competitive like that. Even rounds that he kept close, competitive, he still was getting bombed out and shit. So that's why I didn't, choose that. But we didn't really have a lot of great fights to really have a fight of the year like that, So there's we look in the past, there's plenty of fights better than Crawford, Gamboa. But for this year, it just stood out to me. Don't kill me, just an opinion. Biggest ass whoopings this year has to go to Kovalev and Hopkins. That was one of the worst whoopings this year, man. He really made Hopkins look old and just, he didn't throw too many punches, he threw just enough, kept him on the back foot, dropped him. Fucking Kovalev throwing counter punches, landing them too. Like, Kovalev did his thing. He gets mad props for that shit, You can't really shit on the man for that. Hopkins is a legend in the game. Yeah, he's older, but no one that has made him look that bad before. And I'm a type of guy, I thought Hopkins has taken clean losses before. I ain't one of these dudes who think he beat Taylor and Calzaghe. I thought he lost them shits, but the Calzaghe fight was, I could see that could go either way. That was closer. But the Taylor fight, I just think he didn't do enough. But Kovalev came in there and just straight up dominated this dude for like 12 fucking rounds. In that last round, man, Kovalev started busting out damn Tekken combos and shit. Just nasty. Runner up for that is fucking Paulie Malignaggi and Sean Porter. That was a fucking terrible ass whooping. Terrible. Just the disrespect. Yo, Malignaggi made Porter look like fucking a young Mike Tyson. That dude Bobby the Weaver jumping up with hooks. My goodness. And And now we on the subject of Paulie Malignaggi. He gets the biggest hater award. Yo, this motherfucker be running his mouth. I know y'all seen the little videos him talking shit about Pacquiao and this. Dude always runs his mouth and talks shit on guys that are better than him. It's like, I don't know, it's like he shit on Broner. Broner beat his ass 8 rounds to 4. Remember the Hatton fight? He talked shit about Hatton, saying he can't get away with all that wrestling and all that clinching and shit in the States. You know, that only happens in Europe. Da, 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 da. He's gonna beat him. What happens? Gets his fucking ass kicked every fucking round till Buddy McGirt just says, I had enough. Like, get this shit off my TV, man. Like, Malignaggi, dog, dude, I don't know. He's such a hater. Like, he don't be saying shit, dog. He be sounding like an internet troll, like in these fucking videos. And the sad thing is, he comes off so bitter. He's had a decent career for what he has in the sport as far as his skill set and, you know, his attributes. But dude can only jab and run around the ring, and he was quick about it. That was it. It's like, it's hard to even say he's a B fighter. He's like a C+, B- type of fighter. The reason why I say he's a B fighter because he won a world title, I think twice. And in my book, whenever you win a world title, that automatically kind of puts you up into the B level category. You know, I know there's a bunch of titles going around this year. I'm sorry, circulating the sport in these years, these recent times. But, you know, it's still hard to get a world title. That's a big defeat. So that's the only thing that saves him. But who the fuck has Paulie Malignaggi beaten in his prime that was good, that was worth anything? I know a lot of people felt like Chris Algieri, you know, didn't deserve a big fight. He ain't shit. And, you know, I'll be the first to admit that Algieri got rushed into a big fight with Pacquiao, and it sold like bullshit. No one wanted to see it, and I don't blame him. That wasn't pay-per-view. But he beat Ruslan Provodnikov. He's beating Emmanuel Taylor. He had a solid year. Shit, Paulie Malignaggi be struggling with dudes on Emmanuel Taylor's level. Remember, Paulie Malignaggi fucking got his ass kicked in his hometown against fucking Pablo Cesar Cano. Pablo Cesar Cano ain't no fucking, you know, world beater like that. I mean, he's a decent fighter, but come on, man. Like, Malignaggi, he just was never that good of a fighter, bro. Slightly above average. I probably 1 through 10. You couldn't tell me Malignaggi was better than a 6. Think about this. When has Malignaggi ever been the top 3 in his division? When? Maybe when he fought Hatton. I don't even think in the Cotto fight Malignaggi was ranked that damn high. Maybe top 5, but top 3, fuck out of here. Dude just comes off as a hater, dog. And it's just sad, like, you know, dude just so bitter. Anyways, he the biggest hater of the year. Biggest waste of talent, that goes to Andre Ward and James Kirkland, because neither one of them niggas got a fight this year. But Ward, it looks worse because he rather fight in the courtroom, and, you know, so far he's been, you know, racking up L's and that shit. And Ward, I'll be honest, I think that's an overrated dude too. I mean, his biggest victory is fucking Carl Froch. Like, really? I mean, the Dawson victory would have looked better if he did it at light heavyweight. You know, you did it at super middleweight when you know super middleweight's already cleared out. So where you gonna go after that fight? What fight at super middleweight is there for Andre Ward that people care about? The Golovkin fight needs to cook longer, and we want to see Golovkin with, you know, other fights that could be more entertaining. I mean, I want to see Ward go and fight Kovalev or somebody like that, or Stevenson, you know, move up. You know, Ward has skills. He has A-level elite skills, no doubt. But his resume, man, like, it just leave a lot to be desired. And people shit on Floyd Mayweather's resume, but Mayweather's resume looks way better than awards. Even if you were just to say Mayweather's resume up to the Zab fight. I mean, just think about that shit, bruh. I mean, Ward just, I don't know. I just got to see him do more with his skills and his talent than just fight guys who are just B-level dudes. I want to see Ward really fight a guy who could really test him. I think that last real test Ward got in the ring where we didn't know what the fucking outcome was going to be was in the Kessler fight. You can't tell me, he didn't have a shot or was the favorite in any other fight after that. And I picked them to lose to Dawson. I'm saying this. I got the video to prove it. And that's just how I feel about dude. But the thing is, I picked it on a skill a skill level. I didn't know Dawson was struggling like that in camp and getting knocked out by Miranda and sparring and all that shit, but dude got weight drained for that fight, and it's his fault. He said he could move down, so you can't blame Ward for that, but I ain't gonna give him props for that shit. You get a little props. You still won the fight, but you ain't this god, pound for pound level dude, and to me, he ain't even on my pound for pound list right now. Like, you gotta fight. Like, right now, I would say Floyd number 1, Manny number 2, and Rigan Dial number 3. The 3 best fighters in the sport. I just want to see more from Ward, yo. I think he needs to get over himself and make fucking fights happen. He bitched out of the Butte fight, and Butte was able to resurrect Frater's career. Shit, and he did that with Pascal's career earlier this year. It's like, Ward lets everybody else do his heavy lifting, and they get the props for it. Stevenson knocked out Dawson at light heavyweight, and he became the man. You know what I'm saying? Ward should have did that. There'd be no excuse. And you have instead of Stevenson, Kovalev, we be talking about wanting to see. We be wanting to see Ward and Kovalev. And I think Ward beats Kovalev. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, man. I'm tired of looking at dudes and saying, damn, you know what? He could beat this dude, beat that dude. And then these guys ain't fighting. I mean, next year, I want to see, Thurman get into a real big fight. I like to see J-Rock get into a good fight. He's been doing his thing this year, stepping up, good performances. Shit, I want to see Amner Perez get into some big fights. Mikey Garcia. I mean, this sport, like 2014, kind of sucked. If I was to grade the sport, it'd be like a C, maybe a B for this year. And last year was like a B plus A-. So, just think about that. We going into this new year, Heyman about to unleash the whole NBC sports, and he has all these fighters. I want some good fucking matchups. I don't want to see Danny Garcia fighting fucking Rod Salka. I don't need no shit like that on my fucking TV, nigga. Like, give me some real fucking fights. I'm tired of these top dudes fighting once or twice a year, and when they do fight, it's some fucking hand-picked bum. And like, I want to see better decisions. Like, Herrera pretty much should have been fighter of the year, but he couldn't get no official win over his biggest fights. Now, I'm not saying Garcia Herrera was one of the biggest robberies ever, but I thought Herrera did enough to win. I thought, the fight could have gone either way, but that was some home cooking that wasn't in his favor. I can't pronounce his fucking name, but the last fight on HBO he had, terrible, man, terrible fucking judging. And then Bradley gets a draw against Chavez. Get the fuck out of here. This year was just wild. But hopefully we get a better year next year. And hopefully James Kirkland gets his shit together, because I think the sport needs him, as he bring that action. And he'll make some good fights. I'd fucking watch Kirkland, Cotto, Canelo, Trout. Those some good matchups. Shit. But other than that, ain't too much to say, man. I ain't even trying to get on Mayweather Pacquiao. I don't think that fucking fight happened. I think we're gonna get Mayweather Khan and Pacquiao, maybe Pacquiao Crawford. And I ain't too mad at either one of those fights. I think Khan and Crawford got a chance to pull an upset. I don't think they could do it, but they in that fight. I think they could give Floyd and Manny some problems. You know, some little bit of problem. You know, something. But we'll see, man. Swag Science, man. It's the end of the year. Oh, and y'all got a peak game on that record, man. You know, 80-29. That's not bad for them predictions, boy. You know, that's 80 fights right and 29 wrong. So, you know, I'm doing my thing out here. You know, Swag Science, Hood All Stars. 1.